So let's talk today about getting more energy and having more time for what matters most through digital minimalism as a mom. I am just going to share what my journey has been like as a mom of 6, trying to reclaim my time and trying to make time for what does matter most. And I don't want to look back with regrets. I know that you probably don't either. So let's talk about that today. How do we just be less distracted with screens? How do we use it as tools? We're going to talk about all that today. So hey, my name is Lana. I'm a mom of 6, like I said, and this is Girl Teach Me. This whole channel is just to help you on the mama journey. If that resonates with you, I hope you'll stay and hit subscribe. And while we're just hanging out today, I'm going to be just doing some stuff around the house. That's really just the best way for me to film, just to show you what it really looks like in my life, just to show you some just moments where I'm just being a mom, I'm just cleaning up, or I'm just cooking, and let's just talk. I want to make sure you know I have a new website, girlteachme.com, tons of free resources for you over there. So one thing that's really helped me on the digital minimalism journey is to think about tech as tools. And a lot of tech is wrapped up like a Swiss Army knife. It's like, well, you have your phone and it can do a million things. But why that is so frustrating for me as a mom is that I will get on it for one thing and then find myself doing something else. And it seems very, very unproductive to me, especially with some like ADHD tendencies. I just simply get lost. And so what I have really liked doing is separating out my tools as much as possible. Like when I get on my computer, I'm doing very specific things. When I am on my phone, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, I have a different phone. I do not have a quote unquote smartphone anymore, and it's been great. So I'll share more on that. But separating my tools has helped me tremendously. But this has been an evolution, and I want to share a little bit of my story with this. It kind of all began when I started reading Tech-Wise Family. Now, I have really dabbled in trying to be as minimal as possible in real life. That is very hard for me with 6 kids, lots of shoes and lots of clothes and things like that. But I've always been trying to strive to like have less to manage, but it always felt like a bog when it came to tech, because here I am doing YouTube. You know, I have a business where I have a birth course and things like that. And so I was on Instagram, but there actually was a season before I had Girl Teach Me where I did use a flip phone because I was still paying on my phone and I got angry that it broke and I said, screw it, I'm just going to get a flip phone. But then once I started Girl Teach Me, I was doing Instagram. And I want to talk too about Instagram a little bit because I know some of us feel like we need to be on there. We'll get to that. But it really all began for me when I read the book Tech-Wise Family. And really in that book, what he talks about is setting up our environment, setting up our home, setting up our life with lots of nudges for who we want to be. And this really just made me think, okay, if I want to be a certain person, I can set up my environment to help that happen. So for me uniquely as a Christian, like, you know, laying out my Bible and journal in the place that I would sit in the morning is going to help me get in the Word more often. And so he talked about like, okay, what does it look like to move the TV out of the most common room to make it harder to get to? So that was one thing we did, was we never had a TV upstairs. We moved it downstairs in the basement where we didn't go a whole lot. Now we have like a little projector screen down there. But when you see a TV in a main room, it is simply a nudge to turn it on. And a lot of couches are turned towards the TV, like it's the main thing in the room. And he's like, what if you switched your couches to turn towards one another? So that conversation would be the main thing. So what this looked like for us, like I said, was moving the TV out. We just didn't do video games because that's not really a nudge for like uniquely who I wanted my kids to be. I'm no shame if you do video games because some people do it in moderation and, you know, it's not one size fits all. But I wanted it to be that if we got on screens, it was more of an intentional choice. So we put books in the common area, like my front room is where we hang out the most. And there we switched, with the help of a friend, a gas fireplace to a wood burning fireplace, and all of the couches kind of face that. So that's been really sweet. Plus in the fall, in the winter, to burn that fire. People in my neighborhood joke like, you guys got that fire cranking all the time. And I'm like, yep, we cut down a tree in our yard, saved the firewood. Well, we didn't cut down the tree. We had a tree cut down that was on the fritz. But yeah, it was just so nice to burn that fire. And I just think it would have been such a shame to have a TV hanging over that fireplace. Like you were missing the main event. Like it was so sweet that the fire was the main event. But really, if we hadn't have read TechWise Family a couple of years ago, I don't even know that we would really be thinking about how each thing in our home, each space is a nudge, like a vote for the kind of person that we want to be. But that's so cool that we can work backwards and kind of set up our environment for who we want to be. So once I started using Instagram for Girl Teach Me, I feel like I got kind of lost. I was there doing what I thought you had to do if you had a business or a website, and that was to be creating content. But somewhere I got lost because I was getting more sucked in to scrolling than I was to actually creating. And I think that's one of the biggest sticking points for me with tech is I think it's a really cool tool to use for creation, like to create, but I do not like it for consumption. I guess unless I'm learning. And that's one thing I really do appreciate it. Like you're using tech right now to learn. And that's one thing I really appreciate about YouTube and the spirit of YouTube is I feel like there's a lot of women, well, and men on YouTube that want to get better. Not always, but definitely more so than Instagram. I feel like Instagram's more of like a consumption platform, whereas YouTube does feel like you're coming because you want to level up and you want to learn. So I love that about YouTube. And that's why I feel like it's been a better investment of my time. But I just made the decision to put Instagram away completely, even for my business. I mean, at this point, I haven't put anything on Instagram really like in 2 years. And I may circle back and do that just because now you can do stuff on the computer. And I like doing work on the computer, but I did not like doing work on my phone. And the reason is I just wanted my kids to see that I was present. And really, a lot of it changed about 2 years ago when I asked my son the question. Both of my sons, actually, we were on the way to a doctor's appointment. And I was like, what's one way I can be a better mom? And they said, well, you can stop yelling. And I'm like, noted. I'm working on that. Like, this is one thing I talk about on this channel is motherhood anger and the vigilant battle I am in to be a calmer, more peaceful, more regulated mom. It's something I'm working on. And just by the grace of the Lord, I have made little by little progress. Not completely there. Not sure I will ever be, but it's a work in progress. And then I said, okay, great. I'll work on that. Anything else? And they said, yeah, you could be on your phone less. And that really hit me hard because I thought that, I didn't have Instagram downloaded on my phone. I really had put a lot of space between me and Instagram. And I just thought, I'm not on my phone that much, but to them, I was. And at that point, I think they were like 7 and 9. And so I put a lot of thought into it. And I feel like the Lord kind of had been nudging me to make a phone switch. Like for me, just to not have to rely on willpower every second, but just to set again the environment to support the kind of person I wanted to be. So I made the decision to try out the light phone. I got it on like a Black Friday sale. And hilariously, it sat under my bed for like 3 months in the box. I didn't even open it. So I couldn't even return it if I wanted to. I just was looking for the right time to switch. I was really hung up on the fact that I needed a GPS. And I really wanted to get the green light from my husband because he was kind of nervous about not being able to reach me easily or be able to ping me or any of those things. And so once I got his green light and my phone died, it literally took my Apple phone dying for me to go, okay, it's time. I used the light phone for about 6 months, maybe 9 months. My dad joked and called it the Temu phone. He said I got ripped off with this tiny little phone, but I am telling you, it was like detox or something. Like I've never been in rehab. That's what I imagine. I'm being dramatic, but seriously, I would just get my phone and look for dopamine from my phone, and there was no dopamine to be had. Now they've updated the light phone and it can do a lot more, but like the one I had, it didn't have any GPS, it didn't have pictures, it didn't have voice memos. It was very bland. I mean, it was like call, and even texting was extremely difficult. I think I could voice to text, but it was so choppy. I mean, it was just all of my friends made fun of me. I didn't even care. I just was able to make phone calls, really. And that was okay with me. Granted, it was hard because the people that I keep up, like I had done a lot of voice memos with, or people that I even kept up with on Instagram. It was like, okay, I had to kind of loosen my hands on those relationships a little bit, but I knew that I wanted to be more of a digital minimalist minimalist, I knew that I did not want to be a digital maximalist, even though I have a YouTube channel, even though I have a website. When it came to my motherhood, I wanted to be present. I wanted them to see my eye contact. I didn't want them to see a phone in my face all the time. And I really didn't even want them to see me making content with a phone, because I just feel like so many kids are going to remember that about their parents. And there's no shame, but for me uniquely, I just felt like I wanted them to see me on a real, like using a real camera and not a phone. So the light phone became a very specific tool. It's what I call people on. But I did start to feel like I do miss like Venmo. I miss Waze. I miss Audible. I love listening to audiobooks. And I was kind of bridging those gaps a little bit with my computer, not GPS. I went out and bought a physical GPS from Walmart, and that was not the best thing in the world. But I was bridging a lot of gaps, like even listening to books on my computer, but I didn't like lugging my computer around. Like that felt like a weird tool to pull out just to listen to like an audiobook. So when my light phone fell in a cup of water, I had this big decision. I actually went without a phone for like 2 months. I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but I just really wanted to be sure. Like I didn't think I wanted to order another light phone. I think I wanted to try something a little bit different. So I gave a Wise phone a try. I have been so thrilled with that because I can listen to audiobooks. I can do Waze. I can do Spotify and listen to music and podcasts that way. And you can have the Bible app on there. It's got like a couple of very specific apps. One thing I learned about the Wise phone is that they made it so people could be more intentional with their phone and lean more into digital minimalism. But actually, one of the biggest uses of it are people who are trying to break pornography addictions through this phone, because you cannot access it whatsoever. And they've really only let you have apps where you cannot access that, which I just love so much about that company. So I've been really, really thankful for that phone. I'm still using it. And I actually wrote a blog post at girlteachme.com breaking down a little bit more on the specifics of the phone journey. So I'll leave that down below. But let's talk about some more benefits of what I saw, and stay to the very end because I'm going to talk about an unexpected benefit that has come from all of this. And tell me down below also too, like, how have you leaned into digital minimalism? What does that look like for you? What have you let go of? What have you replaced? And how has that blessed your motherhood? I'd love to hear from you. Another thing is just like the redeemed time. Like I did not realize how much time was slipping through the cracks on me. And with that time, it has been cool to see that my business has actually grown more, and my website has grown more, and my birth course has grown more. All of that has grown more by letting Instagram go and getting off my smartphone. Maybe because I wasn't actually doing a whole lot of creating. I was probably doing more consuming. And it's helped me with mission drift. Okay, this is probably the biggest thing, is the mission drift I was having in my motherhood, in my life, with my goals, all the things. Because on Instagram, so many people are telling you how to parent and how to do this and how to do that. And I know I have a YouTube channel where I'm sharing ideas and things like that. But to me, it just the fast consumption of very small, broken ideas on a lot of topics kind of made me feel like, okay, I need to go in this direction. No, I need to go in this direction. Oh, for business, I should go in this direction. Oh, for motherhood, I should read this book. Oh, homeschool this. And I just got pulled in so many directions. It was a big waste of time. And that redeemed time of like quiet, like just being able to hear my own thoughts and come to my own conclusions, and really even just trying to get quiet and hear the Lord and not having something playing every single second or so much input, the constant input that was coming in. It really, really helped me a ton, especially with the light phone. I mean, I really treasure those like 9 months with the light phone because it was quiet. I mean, I would be in the car, it would be quiet. I'd be on a walk, it was just quiet. And so sometimes I do miss that, having the Wise phone, because I will turn on an audiobook. But the downside was the friction. I mean, there was so much friction from messing up group chats, messing up, oh, you don't have an Apple phone anymore. I mean, people finding it hard to reach me because they're still trying to use my Apple message or my iMessage. Friction when it came to like the GPS wouldn't work perfect. Friction when I'd forget to pay the babysitter because I couldn't just quickly Venmo, or I had to go get on my computer. There's friction, but I I don't know that friction's always a bad thing, because it made me get creative when it came to workarounds, and it made me become more intentional. And that's what I boil a lot of minimalism down to, is a high level of intention. You're choosing what not to have, but then also what to have, and really making those things that you do have carry their weight. And that's what I think has blessed my motherhood so much, is just the unexpected high level of intention when it comes from not just doing everything the way everybody else does when it comes to tech, but just saying, hey, I'm only going to choose what blesses my family and makes me more of who I want to be, and just letting go of the rest. So like I said, if you're curious about my phone switch, I have a blog post down below. Tell me what you took away from this video. Tell me your top tips for digital minimalism. And I hope you've picked up just one idea that can make you just level up when it comes to just being more intentional in motherhood. We're all on our own journey. It's not one size fits all. You can have an Apple phone and totally glorify the Lord and be an amazing mom. It was just a small choice that I felt like I needed to make, a small pivot. Doesn't have to be forever, but it has been so helpful for me. So I'd love to hear what's been helpful for you, and I'll see you again in the next video.
It's so unnecessary dwelling about the past, 'cause I know that God is good, He led me to where I'm at. Sometimes I feel like giving up, you're giving in, but everything happens for a reason. It won't always be blue skies ahead. Sometimes you might need a helping hand, just like iron sharpens iron, making me stronger, calling me higher. When we come together, just like iron sharpens iron, making us stronger.